My channel Jai Mata Tutorials. I hope you are doing well, staying safe during this COVID times and going through each and every content and going with your classes in your school and as well as in my channel. And I hope you have got your exam date also and you are going to your school also regularly. Try to follow the safety rules and try to go with the content and do your best as per the knowledge, and let me know and try to comment on my channel and subscribe it, and so that I can go for more concepts and I can explain you as up to my knowledge and do good. Let's start with our class today. Now today's class, let's start with a new chapter called as electric current. So already you know children, like in your previous classes, I think you have learned in class 7 and in class 8, where you have learned like it's where you will be learning a chapter called as electrical conductivity of liquids. So you know like how this electricity is being used or how it's generated, but you don't know the mechanism or the process of this electricity which is produced. So in our chapter, which in your 10th class chapter, which is called as electric current, you are going to learn the mechanism and process of this generation and the applications of this electricity which we call as electric current. And one more thing I want to say, like there's an important the confusion which arises between the children and between everyone, like whenever we go with the whenever the power supply which comes to our houses, which we call as electricity. So generally when this electricity supply is stopped, we generally say as current gone. Is it the correct word are we using whenever the electricity just gets cut off or gets put off? We are not supposed to say that electricity has electricity has gone or current has gone. Better we need to say the correct word which we use is power has gone. Means we need to use the word as power has gone, but we are not supposed to use the word as current gone or electricity gone. So that difference you should know. Like why we can't say that current has gone, or why we can't say electricity has gone. We say that power has gone. So why we are going to say as power has gone, why we should not say as electricity has gone or current has gone, we are going to learn in this chapter called as electric current. So what are the topics we are going to learn here? So the key concepts whichever are there behind this chapter you can find. First we are going to learn what is electric current. You should know exactly like what does this electric current mean. Then later you are going to learn about potential difference. Then the next one which we call as electromotive force, which we say as EMF. Then we are going to learn about a famous scientist who has contributed the relation between electric current and potential difference called as Ohm's law. Then next we are going to learn about electric power, then Kirchhoff's law and the applications in our daily life uses which we come across using these concepts and the numericals which are based on this chapter whichever we are going to come across. So I hope you are going to understand it, and let's begin our session with the chapter electric current. So can you see here children, what is this basically which I have drawn here? It's called as an electric circuit. Even you know in your earlier classes. So what is this called as? It's called as electric circuit. So why I am saying as electric circuit here? Why we say it as electric circuit? Electric circuit is nothing but it is a systematic arrangement. We say it as a systematic arrangement of the equipments or the materials or the systematic arrangement of those materials which are arranged in an order to obtain or to produce electric current. So do you know like how this electric current is produced? Have you ever thought of this? Now when you are connecting an electric circuit, so during this definitely you know that whenever you connect an electric circuit, you need some set of connecting wires. Can you see what is this all? Actually these are called as what? These are called as connecting wires. So when I am using this connecting wire, so tell me these wires are made of what? Yes, the wires are made of metals. The wires are made of metals here. So why we use metals only? Why not we can use other material? Because as we know the properties of metals, like metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. So here, whichever type of metals, can you name some metals here? So for the famous, like you can find, like whenever we go for the electrical connections, mostly in all of our applications we use copper wire. We use mostly copper wire. So can I say copper as a metal? Yes, I can say copper is a metal which has the good electrical conductivity. Means it's a good electrical, what you say, a conductor. Now I'm using a word called conductor. Even this you know in your earlier classes. So what do you mean by conductor here? It's a bus conductor. No, it's not a bus conductor. Here a conductor is nothing but it's a material or a substance which allows electricity to pass through it. So that is most important. You should first know what are these electrical conductors. How you define the electrical conductors here? Electrical conductors are those substances. Yes, they are the substances which allow passage of electricity, which allows passage of electricity to them. Who are them here? The metals which are responsible. The metals which are responsible for producing electricity, those kind of conductors are called as electrical conductors. So what are these electrical conductors now? The substances which allow passage of electricity to them are called as electrical conductors. And can you take another example? Can we use the pieces of wood here? Now I am using the connecting wires to connect a circuit. Can I use even a pieces of wood here? Can we use a piece of wood? No. You know that a piece of wood acts as an insulator, or you can say it as a non-conductor, because here electrical conductors are only responsible for producing, means they are allowing the electricity to pass through them, whereas rubber, stone, wood, so these are all called as bad conductors. Actually they are insulators. They are non-conductors of electricity. So here only those kind of substances only we are going to take which can allow or which can pass electricity to them. So here we are going to connect such kind of connecting wires to connect an electric circuit where they can produce electricity, or they are responsible for conducting electricity or allowing the current to pass through them, and that's the reason we call them as electrical conductors. So you should first know the role of conductors and non-conductors. Non-conductors are also called as insulators here, which you already know in your earlier classes. But here in this chapter we are going to learn the mechanism of this, like how this electric current plays an important role and how does it help in all of our applications. And you can see here when I am connecting a general circuit, so you already know about a battery. So what is the role of a battery actually, children? Here a battery or a cell is nothing but a remote cell. You watch TV or no, isn't it? So when you watch a TV, you use a remote control. So a remote control works on a cell. And what does that cell contains? A cell contains chemical energy. So here a chemical energy is converted into electrical energy. So this particular battery, whatever we are using, it stores chemical energy, and this chemical energy is converted into electrical energy. You can find this battery, whichever is connected, you can, as you know, a battery contains two ends. One is positive terminal, it has two terminals. One is positive terminal, one is negative terminal. So you can find that this battery in turn, which stores chemical energy, is converted into electrical energy, which is responsible for glowing this bulb. And that's the reason we say and we define a cell or a battery is a device which converts chemical energy into electrical energy. So this is also most important here, because you based on this battery you are going to find like how the ion starts moving. I am using the word called ions. Means a battery whichever we have connected in a circuit is responsible for flow of ions, or we can also say this flow of ions as electrons. We also say as electrons. And once this electron starts moving from one end to other end, when they are going to move, when you are connecting this to a source, when you are connecting to a battery, then you can find here one symbol called A. What does this A stands for? It's ammeter. So what is ammeter? We are going to learn it here. Ammeter is a device which is used to measure the current which is flowing through the circuit per unit time. What is ammeter here? Ammeter is an instrument or a device which is used to measure the current which is flowing across the circuit per unit time is called as ammeter. And what is the role of key? You know the key, no? What is this key called? It's plug key, which we also call a switch on and off. So always you know it, like always an electric circuit is complete when the switch is on, means it should be a closed circuit. Now can you tell me this is a closed circuit or an open circuit? It is a closed circuit. So this is the most important condition, or it's an important property whenever you are trying to generate electricity or whenever you are trying to blow any source of bulb. You should see that your circuit should be always a closed circuit. So this is the most important application, children. Most important condition. What is the condition? Our circuit should be closed circuit. Then only the ion starts moving from one end of the terminal of the battery to the other end of the terminal of the battery. So that's the reason here this condition is must and should important for us, because you already know this. A closed circuit should be must for the generation of ions. Then only the ion starts moving from one end to the other end of the circuit. So in this way we are trying to find like how this the flow of ions starts moving from one end to other end. So after knowing these concepts, now let us know the concept of electric current. So here in our chapter, whenever we try to define electric current, we always denote electric current by letter called I. So throughout our chapter, we are going to find the designation or the denotion of electric current which is given by I here. So how we are going to define this I now? The flow of ions. The flow of ions which are moving across the cross-section area, which are moving across the conductor in unit time is called as electric current. So how we are defining electric current here? The amount of charges or the amount of flow of ions, whatever the ions which are moving from one end of the conductor to other end of the conductor are called as the ions. So those ions, the amount of ions or the flow of ions or the movement of ions or the charge of ions which are moving across a conductor. Now this is an electrical conductor per unit time is defined as electric current. So generally I write this current as I equal to charge by time. So I am going to whatever the definition which we have defined in the form of sentence, we are writing in the form of a formula. So you can find here I is nothing but charge by time. You can say unit charge. The unit charge or the flow of ions which are moving across the conductor per unit time is called as electric current. And still if you want to write in the formula, how can you write this one? I equal to charge by time. So charge is given by Q and time is given by T. So you can write the formula of electric current as Q by T, where Q stands for charge and T stands for time. And even you are going to get the units also for this current, because as we know physics is the basic units of measurement. Each and every quantity whichever we derive, it should go with certain units. So here also we are going to give units. So I, which is denoted by electric current, which is denoted by I, which is measured by ammeter, is given as charge. It's nothing but coulombs per second, which we say as coulombs per second. And even current is measured in amperes. Current is measured in amperes because as we are using ammeter. Ammeter is the instrument or the device which we use to measure current. That's the reason whatever the current, whichever we measure, we can find it's measured in amperes, and these are the units for current. What are the units we got for current here? The units for current is coulombs per second, which you can also write as coulomb second inverse. Which you can also write it as coulomb second inverse. So these are the units for electric current. So this is how, children, like first we started basically defining the electric current and the process, like how it takes place when we start with a chapter. So I hope you have understood the first, the introduction part and the first concept of our chapter, electric current, and we defined it and you have learned the units and how we are trying to represent by an electrical circuit. So in our next class we are going to continue the concept of this electric current, and we are going to learn the other concept called as potential difference, and we are going to go and learn with the other concepts also. I hope you have understood it, and try to please once again subscribe my channel, and if you have any comments, please try to comment it so that your doubts can be cleared, and try to keep on learning the content and try to enjoy it, and try to pass to your known, well and known friends and each and everyone, so that they can also get advantage and they can also know the concepts which you are going to get in your exams, and you are going to also learn as a part of revision. So don't forget to subscribe my channel, Jai Mata Tutorials, and if you can also contact to my number which is given on the board, which is 9949205306, and you can also contact it for any more details and for any queries and for any concepts. I hope you have understood it, and thank you for watching.